Hey. Oh, good timing. Cheers. Got my 0%
hell?
beer. It's delicious. Warm and lovely.
We're doing the usual.
Hell yeah.
Pellegrino.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
How much would a bottle of that cost where you are?
Oh, well, I buy it in the case. So I think
Okay.
a case there's 18, and I want to say it's like $15.
Okay. So under a
Like
dollar a
18
bottle.
cents a bottle, about maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Good.
good. I love
About the
them.
same then. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Friday. For me, it's Friday Night Lights. For Athena, is it 2:30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Hmm.
Um, New setting for yourself, new angles on the screen. I like it.
Oh, thanks. We're upstairs today. It's unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's
Hmm.
good. I've got to sort out this blank wall because I'll tell you why. Whenever anyone comes on any podcast and I see a blank wall like this behind them, I always take the piss out of them. So I've got to sort this mess out. And I do have a couple of options. Shall I run past two options for everyone? We can have a little vote.
We
Should we do
should.
that? Hold
Yeah.
hold the line. Oh,
Jan is
dead in,
coming. He's just late.
he's dead inside apparently. Here he is. Let's unmute the bloody. Hang on. He needs to unmute himself. Oh, hello. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. There he is. So, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's muted himself again. You're muted again. Here he is. Jon.
I've got my
There
mic
he is.
muted just now. I've got my mic
Hello.
muted just now just because it's quite loud.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, not to worry.
I'll jump in though when I need to. Hi, Athena.
Yeah. So, ladies and gents, Yoni Boy has just this minute finished his 25.1 attempt. Now, Jon had no intention of doing this. Jon is a professional high roxer now. And there we go. There we go. Biceps win races. And he decided this afternoon to say, fuck it. After having done a 10K, I think it was, on the treadmill this morning, he then said, sod it, let's go. So Jon's on there. He's dropped into his local box somewhere in the Highlands. And also, he won't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you what happened. He was up very late last night. He was at a gig in, I think it was Glasgow. He drove throughout the night. He got back at 3 o'clock in the morning after a long day at work, coaching and training. Got back at 3, cuddled his young lad, had 3 hours sleep, went to work, did a 10K on the treadmill, then coached all his stuff. And then it's now 8:30 at night for him. And he's just done 25.1. So he's
Way
had a
to go,
long
dude.
sleep, but he's done it anyway. He did
Way
it
to go,
anyway.
dude.
And it was the worst workout ever.
He said it's the worst workout ever. And his comment to me was a minute ago, the owner no-repped the something out of me. So
Donnie no rep the fuck out of me.
what was it for?
Everything.
Everything. Was it the lockout?
Yeah, my knees were soft from the hand cleans.
Right.
I think on the round of 12, I was at 9 and I turned round and went 3 left. And he laughed and said 7. And I was like, come on.
That's great.
And then I was doing high rocks lunges, so I got pulled back in the lunges like every single time.
Fair enough. Well, you did it though. So if it helps,
I did secure him to come on the podcast.
cool, nice one. Good. So what was I going to say? Yeah, if it helps, Katie, my wife, no rep me twice. Now, one of them was justified. I went from the ground on around about the round of 18 somewhere. On the first rep, I came out for the lunges, stood over the dumbbell, and just did a snatch with it. I know when you're just not thinking in your heat of it. I just went straight up for a snatch. She went, no rep. And I was like, why? She went, it's a clean and jerk from the hang. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. All right, start
I
again.
haven't done it yet.
No. When
Probably
have
won't
you
till
got
Sunday.
Sunday? Cool.
Mhm.
Is that when you're going to do it as a group? Are you doing it on your own? How are you going to play it?
Mhm. So, you know, Miranda's my coach, and so I had to.
I can.
I forgot to when I sent in my programming this week. I forgot to take the open workout into account, so I had to send her a thing and be like, "Hey, I forgot the open was this week, so we need to work it in. Which one should we dump in place of
Yeah.
this one?" And funny, I had just done a shit ton of lunges last night.
Right.
I'm like, this is going to be great. So I'm going to have to separate it out a little bit and do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So interesting thing
That means
is
you're warmed
that,
up for them now, Athena.
yeah. So, Scaled Nation,
Jake,
we're a little
can you hear me?
We're a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. This is the smallest affiliate in Scotland, and they've got the highest percentage of open participants.
Oh, amazing.
They don't have the
What
most
is that?
open participants. They're the second highest in Scotland. That CrossFit Glasgow's got over 600 members. This one's only got 180.
Wow.
So by percentage, they're like the highest.
Yeah. That's awesome.
CrossFit 57 North for anyone that wants to go look it up.
Okay. Cool. Nice one. So, what you said, so your plan, you hadn't planned on doing it, and then, you hadn't planned with Miranda to do it.
Yeah. So, so that's why we set up Sunday. So when you're an affiliate, when you're the point of contact for the affiliate, because the percentage of people in Scaled Nation that actually do the open is so low, I can't sign up at like your gym and just be a participant at your gym just to make it easier for myself. I physically have to go in there, take the judges course, and do it as the point contact for the affiliate. So I wasn't going to do it just because it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But I was like, my own article this week re-inspired myself. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, like there's a reason that we always did this. It was a little bit different for me when I was working with Hiller, and we can talk about that with the open last year.
Yeah.
But I just was just re-energized, and so I was like, all right, I just need to give myself enough time to get this first workout under my belt.
Yeah. Do street parking, I'm completely ignorant there. Do street parking suggest people do the open, or are they kind of, okay, cool.
Yeah,
And is
it's
that
encouraged.
hey, sorry?
It's encouraged.
Good. Okay, cool. That's good to know. You know, it's street parking, although I know they do have some presence over here. Well, not on the Isle of Man, but over in the UK, there's a few. It's something that I haven't really been educated on or looked into. So I'm really, really sorry here. I have a question from a new person in the chat. His name's Keeping It Real. He wants to know, Jake, could you please tell us what 75th percentile may be? Now, Mr. Real, all I would say is that's too broad of a spectrum for me to comment. I would need to know which grouping you are in. So by the sounds of it and by the logos and by the way that you're writing, I'd probably say you're in the 65 plus division. So I couldn't really tell you accurately on that yet based on what we have. So apologies, I can't really help you there. But I would imagine it would be probably around the 21s, early 21s, I'd have thought. So that's my answer. There we go. Anyway, I think he's referring to the 75% out of the scale division. Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know. From Augustus Link here. a German powerhouse
I
of
was looking at some of the names in here. Funny story. So I want to say it was yesterday or the day before. I was doing something on YouTube and I caught the little red live box of Scott's podcast. And I was like, huh, I'll dip in over there and say hello to Scott. And Scott had Corey on. And it's funny because I've never met or seen some of these people in real life. That's always really cool for me. But I didn't realize that Corey has a Cajun accent like nothing I have ever heard in my life. And I was like, wow, I would not have
Mm,
figured that. It was great though. I'd never heard him talk before. So,
mhm.
hey, Corey, how's it going? It was great.
Yeah, Corey's a nice guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He grows facial hair like myself, so I feel like we're brothers in shit facial hair. Hope he
Me
doesn't mind
too.
me saying
Yeah.
that. Oh, Sean's in the house. Sean, and we're expecting big things from Sean. He's a big bench presser and he does ultras, so he's got a lot
Nice.
going on. Um, doesn't mind giving on the odd excuse now and again. Doesn't hide away. Letting us know about those. Has Jon ever done a successful podcast? I think you'll find the answer, Heidi, is yes. You know that.
Have you ever done a successful podcast, Heidi?
So Athena, you're going to do this workout on Sunday. Have you
Hi, Sean, by the
started?
way.
Hey, sorry.
I was telling Sean hi. Hi.
Oh. Barry, Siri's woken up. So Barry's about to do the Open now. That's good. Good luck, Barry. All I will say, by the looks of it, you don't need any help with your shoulders. But all I will say is this is quite a shouldery workout, and I hadn't anticipated exactly how much of a shouldery workout that was. So good luck. Enjoy. Have fuel near you for the lunges. Take in some fluids. Do 5 steps. Turn around. Come back. Do 5 steps, and go straight back to your burpees. Okay. Have fun. Enjoy. So yes. So have you thought about the standard that you'll be going through on Sunday with the workout?
Well,
Have you had a look at
I
it?
have. So, I look at every workout. I usually look at the first thing. If that first thing is something that I can do confidently, we'll start there. So I start at the top and work my way down.
Right.
So this year we're going to go RX. The only problem I think that I'm going to have is the lunges. I can do lunges on the right side, but I can't do lunges yet on, the left side. So, but thankfully, we don't have to, according to the rules, we don't have to alternate. That's good.
Mm,
So that's going to give me
yeah.
some flexibility just to focus on the side that I can do them on.
Yeah.
The trouble is the timing. Like lunges for me are very laborious. They take a long time to do, getting up
Mm,
and down from that one
yeah.
side. So I think those are going to take the longest, but we'll go RX.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't looked. Is there a scale option for lunges? Is the scale the same on the lunges? Should we have a look,
Sort
shall
of,
we?
sort of. So on foundations, which is usually where I hang out comfortably,
Yeah.
you can do assisted lunges. So I think there's a couple options. One of them is like an assisted lunge. You can do it with a chair. So if you're doing the assisted lunges, you can use you don't have to go all the way down to the ground.
Right.
So for
Okay.
foundations, that's amazing because that's a real trouble spot for people are the lunges.
Yeah.
It's just getting
Got
down
the
to the
options
ground and
there.
getting back up again.
Oh, you can use. So you got a supported lunge there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So going RX, I can't use a support. So that's why they're going to take a while.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, PVC pipes are awesome.
Yes.
Using dual PVC pipes are even cooler.
Yeah. Do you know we have a lot of walkers on the island,
Mm.
and they often use the ski sticks. Or they're not ski
Mhm.
sticks.
Yeah,
The
they
walk.
work great.
Yeah, exactly. So RX is a valid option for you because
This workout,
done.
yes.
Yeah, for sure. And
We'll see.
yeah, no, exactly. It's like we've talked about a lot this week. I think having the option there is the key to all of that question. There are options for everyone to participate.
Totally.
rather than just checking out completely, feeling like you've been part of something. The whole RX or die mentality. It's obviously it's a bit of a running joke, RX or die, and people will die for points and that kind of stuff. But when we're in the position we're at with the Open for sign-ups and for community and professional athletes are this, that, and the other, and communities where it's at, affiliate numbers are down and sign-ups are down. I think the conversation does shift towards how do we get more people in the Open. We have to look at boxes themselves. So affiliates, what are they mainly made up of? If you program Grace, any of the girls on any given day at your box, how many of them will be doing RX? And again, it's variables, and we can deep dive into the programming. I really want to look at the programming from this workout 25.1 because it's genius. But programming wise, the reason the girls are so damn impressive is they are programmed so well that the elegance is insane. If you look at the likes of Grace, as soon as you add in the variable of a time cap, it completely changes the workout. People don't necessarily go RX. And again, it comes from the coaching, it comes from the instruction from the staff, what we were after today. If we're after a sub 2-minute Grace and we want you to finish, what weight are you going to use? If we want under 4 minutes, will that change your decision? And the education piece comes from CrossFit when we use this rather than trying to get RX next to your name for the sake of it.
I think it's also going to boil down to, at certainly like someone coming into the Open, like at my level, I think it's also going to come down to what does that person want to get out of it? Because so many of us, for the most part, like I never kept track of my scores. Like I never really cared what my score was. I just wanted to do it. And so there was never really any, strategy. Just because this side of it was something that I did for the community aspect of it. I loved it. But for me, it wasn't a good test of my fitness.
Right.
For me. And I'll explain why. Like I say, if we took last year, for instance, and we took this year, there's a considerable weight difference between last year and this year. And when I went into last year's Open, signing up for the Open, I think one of the reasons that I had trouble with it and why I just felt like I kept having to reiterate this is not a goal this year is because whatever score that got put into the Open last year, 3 months later or 4 months later, just because the weight was changing, it wasn't going to mean anything. So when I go back and I look at the scores, I can say, yes, my fitness has improved, sort of, because if we look at my athlete profile, if we look at 21, it shows one of those years that I did really well, but it was actually a year where fitness wise, I was at my worst because I was coming back from knee surgeries. For me, my numbers really haven't been the best representation of where my fitness was.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
So it's never been a good, reliable, like, oh, I'm going to go look at my scores. My fitness is better. Not exactly. There's a lot of differences,
Yeah. I think that's just obviously you're completely unique in your situation, but I think broadly speaking, the older we get, the more variables are going to kick in throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year.
Yeah.
Obstacles come up, which is why we're aware that we're aware that. I mean, Fergie's comment, I get into the arguments with my coach all the time. She wants you to go heavy because I can, but 55 plus weights are basically women's weights. Yep, they are. And there's a reason for that. Now, you'd be silly to do it for the sake of it. You'd be silly to just go heavier because you can. There's a reason that it's 55 plus. We start to withdraw some of that load. There's reasons for it. You know, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why we have masters divisions happening every 5 years. I've gone through from being, when I first started CrossFit, what am I? I'm 40 next Tuesday. It's not Tuesday coming, Tuesday after. So I've just gone into the 40 to 44. This will be my 13th Open. I've gone from being in late 20s through to now in the 40s division. And I can honestly tell you the difference is purely just my speed of my reps and my recovery. My strength is the same. If not, I'm stronger than I was when I first started doing CrossFit.
And I think that this is sometimes the difference. One of the very first things that I noticed, for instance, this last year was a lot of my PRs were going down.
Right.
And the reason that my PRs were going down is it wasn't because that I had lost all this strength.
No.
It was because I had lost a lot of the momentum that comes with weight pushing some of that weight, and the numbers changed. And so again, if we look at some of this stuff and say, oh, is this a good representation? For me, no. So I never prioritized it. I probably would prioritize it more once the body gets to a point of some kind of homeostasis, wherever that is going to be. Now, whether that's 200 pounds or whether that's 175 or wherever that sweet spot ends up, then maybe I'll focus back on the numbers again. But while there's all this transition happening, it just wasn't a good test.
No.
Some might say, well, that's unique. It's not as unique as you would think.
No.
But yeah.
It would certainly be unique on Instagram Reels. From a media exposure perspective, it would be fairly unique. We don't really get exposed to that for a number of reasons. A good point about the leaderboarding and the scoring. It is a factor. Obviously, it's a factor. It's scored. We're ranked. We submit scores, and we go through that. So it would be silly to deny that there's that element to it. I've only checked my score ranking today about 28 times, so it's not too bad. However, I saw a video the other day from CrossFit Affiliates Instagram page, and one of the coaches, can't remember, the English woman, I think, quite a senior one, she was making a comment about the whiteboard and the scores on there, and she paralleled that to why you'd want to do the Open for people that don't bother about their scores. I'll come on to my opinion on that in a bit, but one of the arguments she said, and one thing that I haven't really heard before or articulated in this way, was you put your score up to show that you showed up. And the Open is the same for that. You submit scores to show your community that you're willing to put your $20 in and be part of it. It's at church, it's your hat going round or the basket and you're putting in a couple of dollars.
I would say that's true.
Yeah. And I hadn't put those two together in that articulation. I've always been a stickler for that because I'm a programmer and I like to program and based on the results from my affiliates. And historically, I don't have an affiliate anymore. But it's something that I Dan, the affiliate owner that where we're at the moment, Dan and Erin, they try and push it as much as they can as well. And I back them up in terms of when coaches and members come up to me and say, why, I don't really want to put my score on the board. Initially, I'll just ask, okay, that's fine. If you don't want to, I'm not going to force you. However, all I would say is I'd ask you why not. What's the primary reason you don't want to put them up? If they've said, well, I haven't kept count, my answer to them would be, well, a couple of things. You'd be doing me a really big favor by counting your reps. I need to know how everyone's doing so that my programming can be accounting for people across the whole spectrum. If the only people that are putting their score up on the board are the people that crush the workout, I'm going to think everyone's crushed this workout. So next time we repeat this style, in 8 days' time, I'm not really going to have adjusted it very well. However, I need the whole spectrum. I need the mums class to run at their scores. I know the 70-year-olds to do their scores. I need the fire breathers to do their scores. I need all the different masters divisions. I need the teens. I need everyone across the board so that I know if the program is accurate or not. We rely on that feedback as programmers, but also we talk about accountability all the time. We talk about it all the time. Accountable to your community, accountable to your coach, accountable to yourself. And I think there's an emotional attachment putting that score up on the board. You're being accountable. You're saying, do you know what? I'm holding myself to account here and not being ashamed of your result. If you put in the effort, then you deserve to put your name up on the board, no matter what. Even if you got 3 reps, even if you don't feel like you hit the stimulus that's like too much. I'm just looking at you on the screen at the moment. Some dude dead on the floor.
Again, this is where I might say it depends on your audience. And let me give you a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I totally agree with you. I'm all about the accountability piece. I go back and forth, but every year that I've been in the Open is on there.
Yeah.
So sometimes I change my mind at the last minute, but I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
Now, Scaled Nation, on the other hand, our entire demographic, people that are in my gym are literally in the process of losing hundreds of pounds. I just talked about Wendy the other day. She's literally at a point where, if you guys noticed, she didn't go on there and comment. She didn't say anything. She didn't comment. She literally did not want anybody knowing who she was. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When you show up in a mobility van, for instance, and Wendy's not the only one that comes in one of those mobility vans. When it's hard just getting somebody to show up once a week, having that conversation is a totally different level.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
Sure.
want accountability for them so that we don't die.
Yeah.
Some of my members I worry about.
Yeah.
That's why they're here, though. So if I can get them into the gym once a week, and that's a struggle, we're not ready to talk about the Open just yet. It's not that I don't appreciate the Open.
Yeah.
But I want them to I want them to be at a point where they're just comfortable coming to the gym. I know a lot of you don't know a lot about Wendy, but to see her, I hope I don't cry. She's still pushing the 500 mark at 475, but she's 5'1".
Right.
And on her frame, just, she's, it's tough enough for her literally some days just to get out of her chair. So they bring her in, she's in her chair. It's got wheels on it. It looks kind of like a wheelchair, but it's more like an assistant, more like a cart almost. It's not a wheelchair. She can walk on it. She can use it it's a very interesting piece. I haven't seen it as often, but she is at a point where just her walking has been a challenge. That's one of the mobility vans. So she comes out the back, and then the mobility van backs up to the back of the gym, and then they wheel her off. So when I wrote that post was the day that she had done her first walk. It's still assisted, but she used her cart to walk that mile. And it's the first time. She's been with me for 18 months. So again, when we're talking about the Open, it's not that I don't value these things. It's just, who are we speaking to? Because this is that other side of CrossFit that I'm like, I can't even say the word competition with 95% of
Yeah, yeah,
my, you know. And
yeah,
so
yeah. Totally agree.
do I hope at one point that Wendy's going to be able to get to the point where she takes it upon herself to sign up for the Open? It's not
Yeah.
that we don't have these conversations.
No, no,
I
no, no.
just I read the room. They're
Yeah,
either
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be ready for those conversations or they're not. I think a lot of them
yeah,
get very curious, and I can talk about my Open experience. But for
yeah.
me, I don't push it because Scaled Nation operates an affiliate that's like no other that I know of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I have to be careful about what I expose them to because I want them to come back next week.
yeah, yeah. Totally
And,
agree.
if I think about where I was when I first joined at 500 pounds, very similar, Corey, to what Scott was talking about. It was just different. Everything is labored by the by a degree of like 10.
Yeah,
Everything is 10 or 20 times harder. So are they ready for this idea of, hey, you're going to be participating in a global competition? They're going to hear the word global competition and lose their minds.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
again,
Yeah.
if we think about Wendy as the example, there are 30 Wendy's. 30.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So she's just not there yet. That's right. But she will be.
Yeah. And the thing for me, there are, I'm totally on board with that. And I used to have
Yeah.
a client, Ahmed, lovely chap. He was very, very heavy. I
Yeah.
worked with him for 5 years.
Yeah.
6th year, he signed up for the Open.
Hmm.
Scaled everything, but he had the time of his life. So that's one guy I've had a similar-ish experience. Nothing on what you've done. All I will say is not your examples at all. But there's a need, a requirement, an obligation for affiliate owners to keep the Open alive.
Right.
We need it for the likes of Wendy in 5 years to
That's
have it
right.
going still, for her to have as a goal to then come to. We
Right.
have that obligation to keep it alive for them. Okay. And over the last sort of few months, it's been irritating. I mean, there's some big names over the last year or so that have said, I won't be signing up for the Open next year. And it's not just the elite athletes, it's people in the CrossFit media world that have said about it. And they've changed their minds, which is great. But anyone that wants CrossFit to survive
Hmm.
has to come to the realization that we need the Open. It's essential. We need
Yep.
it. It's a carrot. It's a goal. The likes of me, I'm doing it now just to not break my streak. I'm like the Undertaker in WWF. Like I'm coming to WrestleMania every year, and I could be in like a couple of years, a few years back, I was in really shit way. I'd had my neck operated on. I had 2 fake discs in January done, and I did the Open in March. 7 weeks later, in my back garden. I scaled everything, but I had to do that because I felt it was part of being an affiliate owner. I felt obliged to it, and I scaled the shit out of those workouts. And then the following year, I've talked about this earlier on with you, Athena, the other day. It was when
Hmm.
my knees first blew up.
Yep.
I could barely skip, let alone double unders. So
Yep.
when that wall walk and double under workout came up, I did single skips because it was better than it was a lateral jumps, I think it was, for the foundation
Yeah.
that year. And I
It was
couldn't do
tough.
lateral. Yeah, I couldn't do lateral jumps because my knees were fucked. So the only thing I could do to that workout was the scaled option, which was skips. And I broke up the skips. Jumping up and down was hard, but I still did it. And I'm not a fucking hero. I'm a nobody and nothing that had a couple of knee issues. These people like Wendy, when they come to doing the Open and the foundation is the level they're breaking through at, they need to know that that is fucking brilliant. That is marvelous. That is a mountain of achievement for them to go from where she is now, turning up in the van, to having entered something that's bigger than anything she's done physically before. That's a massive achievement, but we need it there. She's not going to be signing up for High Rocks in 5 years. I mean, she might. I could be wrong, but
Never
the
know.
Open, yeah, exactly. But the Open provides. It's where CrossFit belongs. We need that.
Totally.
We need the
You
Open.
know, this goes back to, I think, some of the motivation to write the article. And I think there was a lot of people that misunderstood my issue with Bergeron. I have a lot of issues with Bergeron, but what he said, I had an issue with what he said. If anybody
Right.
had listened to his podcast, he was talking about, he's going through this podcast and he's talking about the reason that, they're unaffiliating, whatever. And I figured, okay, I'll give this whole thing a listen. But they started talking about this specific area where they said, well, one of the reasons that we don't want to be an affiliate anymore is this whole idea that CrossFit scares people. And they went on to basically talk about this. They had sent out a survey to everybody in their gym, and they said that 85% of the people that had responded to this survey said, well, the reason that I wasn't going to join this gym, or the reason that I was scared away, is because it said CrossFit on it. And let me tell you, one, people will put that if it's the only option that you give them. Something that we spent a shit ton of time on when we were creating the seminar was getting down to like the nitty gritty of that and dissecting it like 10 layers outside of that. And what we found was it had nothing to do with CrossFit as a brand. Nothing.
No.
It was people's own fear, really the heart of the issue. After years and years and years of studying and putting this together, was the issue is people's own conceptions about what's possible or not possible for them. Had nothing to do with the brand, had nothing to do with, oh, I saw somebody doing a rope climb. It boiled down to whether or not they believed they would ever be able to do that, or what's possible for them. It wasn't CrossFit as a brand. So they basically took that out and said, we just don't want to fight this anymore. We don't want to, it's just not a battle that's worth it to us anymore. And I guess the reason why I was irritated is because I'm like, you are so out of touch with what people are really feeling. Like, that's why I called it tone deaf, because I'm like, you're not listening. Either that, you're just not diving in far enough, because it has nothing to do with the logo on the wall.
No. Two things to that.
Mm-hmm.
One, why not remain an affiliate and not be called CrossFit New England or whatever they were called? So just change the name.
One option, isn't it?
If it
truly
was,
is that.
Yeah. So that's the first thing.
Right.
Secondly, is in order to compare your own ability, insecurity, and whether or not you believe you can do something, you need to compare it to something you've seen.
Correct.
Right? What have they seen? Have they seen the games?
Mm-hmm.
Have they seen videos of Katrin and Fraser that are probably everywhere on their social media? Or have they seen videos actually from the affiliates of the majority of people?
The majority of people doing it, scaling.
Yeah.
And
So
exactly.
So I would counter that with, well, you need to do a better job of representing what CrossFit is. If you're truly saying that people are scared of CrossFit because of what they are worried they can't do, the original thing my affiliate manager said, my first CrossFit gym that I walked into in 2012 was, I want you walking out of here thinking I can do that. Right? He said that to me. I can do that. Or I will do that. Right? So it might be a lunge. It might be And this is why the whole induction piece, the whole ramp up, the whole foundations course that gyms used to do
They
was
used to.
basics, fundamental. Yeah, all the best boxes still do fundamentals. Okay, I'm going to look at your squat pattern. Okay, here's what you are going to work on over the next 6 months to a year to get you better at squats. Every time you come in, rather than loading up the bar with really heavy weights, you're going to work on your squat mechanics. We've got squat therapy. You're going to squat down to that med ball eventually. You're going to keep chest up. We're looking at your knees tracking over your big toe. Here's a copy of Supple Leopard. Okay, you go and borrow that. Take what you want from it. All these reasons, and eventually we might get you doing a box jump. But all I want you walking out from over the course of this induction piece is I want you walking out thinking either I can do that or I will do that one day. We need to set people up when they come to the gym to do stuff they can do and stuff to build to and set them a plan.
I think that coaches need to be able to speak better to the heart of the fear, which is what they believe they can do and what they can't. It has to be part of the conversation. And what we
absolutely.
believe in CrossFit. This is who we are. This is what we believe. This is how we're going to help you. All of the fundamentals, the thing about nutrition, what we believe is the foundation of have all of these discussions and talk about who we are. And that's not happening, which is the reason why they wouldn't want to join a CrossFit gym.
Yeah. Well, again, Paul was the first guy in 2012 that I went to an affiliate. Lee was the second guy in 2013, the affiliate nearer me. Lee didn't allow, some people might see holes in this and pick it apart. Lee didn't allow newbies to come into the gym for their foundations or inductions when the advanced classes were in or any of the elite athletes were there training.
It's a good practice.
Yeah, he didn't allow them in. He told them specific times when the gym is going to be more of a community feel, let's call it, or fundamentals. The classes were away from the elite with their shirts off, snatching and muscle ups.
That's right.
Yeah. So you're exposing them to it. And this is 13 years ago, right? So we're not talking early CrossFit. We're not talking first stage of CrossFit affiliates. We're not talking the new era when, let's call it, the woke guys have all come in, like everyone likes to say, post-COVID. This is sort of like heyday CrossFit, when foundations and ramp-ups were a thing, rather than email, here's the timetable, you can book on, come to any class you like, just tell the coach you're new, and they'll give you some options to do.
One of the worst things that you can do, honestly.
What a load of shit. And this all comes down to the level of coaching and the give a shit from the box management and owners.
How you introduce people to CrossFit is just as important.
Yeah.
How you introduce them.
Yeah.
You know, something interesting else that he said was something that else that I found interesting that came out of that was he said, well, we're not going to, you know, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much time that we have to address this, and we're not going to do that anymore. And again, part of this I really had to sit with because it's been such a different experience for me. That's why I love talking to other affiliates, because I never had to have those conversations with people. Not one time since I've been an affiliate owner. It's 5 years now. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But I never had to have a conversation with somebody about somebody confusing sport with the CrossFit methodology. I never had to have a single conversation. I got to be a walking, talking example of why I never had to have that conversation. And part of me was like, is there nobody in CrossFit New England that can speak to who we are?
Yeah.
Okay.
The confusion between the sport and the methodology is one that we've talked about. So you know Philip very well.
Yes.
PK and I share a lot, maybe too much sometimes. One opinion that we are adamantly fierce about is this conversation, and we have been banging on this drum in the chat, in Sevi's chat, for
Tell me the
at
drum.
least 2.5
What-
2.5 years, 3
What's
years.
the drum?
The drum is that we don't really care about the sport, and
No,
CrossFit
we don't.
and CrossFit isn't the sport. The sport isn't CrossFit anymore. It used to
No.
be. And part of what gave me tingles watching Rich yesterday was that it was a hark back to when it did at Mayhem, and they've done that so well. They that was perfection yesterday. They had 500, 600 members from Mayhem and the areas. You had Daddy Rich back on the floor. So and it was I asked a couple of the members at the gym today. Not many people watched it, but a couple of them that did, they're late 20s, and they know who Rich Froning is. But when he was at his heyday, when he was at his, his peak 10 years ago, they were 13, 14 years old. They didn't even know what CrossFit was then. So they don't know who he is. So the target audience for CrossFit, the sport now, the mid-20s, they don't know. They didn't get to watch Froning compete. So that link between affiliate and sport is now a thing of the past. It doesn't. The guys coming in to do the sport now at the top level, they're all now too young to have been around when that was a thing.
Well, it's so different now, though, too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know that even though I can be a good example and make sure that my affiliate gets exposure to this other, we all exist under the CrossFit umbrella, and I want them to know that side. I haven't always done a good job of it,
Yeah.
but it's different. When I first started CrossFit, I watched some of the athletes. I never minded watching the videos, but I mean, is that something that I would do anymore? Probably not. I don't remember the last time I actually watched a games video.
No.
It's
the
different.
thing is, the thing is, what I don't want to come across as a guy that's past it, jealous, bad knees, can't do the movements anymore, getting old, doesn't like it because he can't do it anymore.
Sure.
Okay. And I fully respect what the games athletes do. I do CrossFit.
Totally.
I've been doing it for a little while now, and I admire.
It's incredible what they can do. No question.
It's superheroes, right? However, with a few caveats, I'm aware that other athletes in other sports do the same kind of stuff. They're just as genuinely, athletic as our guys. I don't think all round, but I think that they're to be respected in their own disciplines as much. So it's not solely CrossFits that I have that opinion of. The other thing that I wanted to say about Rich was that he's clearly a man of the community. When he was a red shirt, he was an affiliate owner. He's gone through the ranks. He's won the games. He's won the games as a team division, and yet he is still leading from the front. He's still there. He's still repping CrossFit. He's still passionate about it. How many of the games athletes today run and operate affiliates or have been an L1 staff member?
I don't know. What is that number?
Probably zero. I would hazard a guess. There might be one or two that have done their L2, probably. And I'm generalizing here. Obviously, someone's going to probably give me an example of one. But you're never going to understand CrossFit for what it is unless you are part of a box, a community, an affiliate. You're never going to understand that. And Carolyn Lambre owns it. Yeah, the coach, Carolyn Lambre. Yeah, so not the athlete.
I know her well.
Hey,
I said I know her well.
yeah, exactly. How many of the people does Jeff technically own one since the manager? Yep, I mean, I don't know. Exception that proves the rule there, probably, is my argument there. But my point being is this sport and methodology divide. There, to my mind, there's no argument. There isn't an argument. Originally, it was very linear. So what we do at the gym, you just get better and faster and stronger, and you can carry on and you can get to the games that way.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that anymore. It's impossible.
Okay, so when you're saying that you're beating the drums, are you saying that you guys agree, or are you saying that one of you thinks this way and one of you?
Thank you for bringing me back to my point. We completely agree. Now, we have been saying this exact point in the chat for nearly 3 years, and we along the way have been fucking lambasted for this opinion.
Okay. Well, I guess they can lambaste me too, because I got a great example. Okay.
But
we'll go back. What?
Sorry. The last few months, people have been joining us in our opinion, which is nice.
Oh, I'll join you.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think they're the same, because they're not. Maybe it used to be. Maybe it used to be, but okay. Well, we'll go back to the same example. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take Wendy, because she's the one I spend the most time with. She's the one that I have all these talks with and stuff.
Yeah.
So the other day, I was like, I'm going to be non-biased, right? And I'm going to introduce her to Talking Elite Fitness. I'm going to introduce her to here's Hiller, here's Talking Elite Fitness, here's some other places, here's all this the CrossFit ecosystem. Here you go. Here's podcasts that you can learn, whatever. So what did she bring me back? She brings me back one of Hiller's videos, okay, where he had done I don't know her name. I don't follow any of the games athletes. I'm just caveating that right now. But what the video was about was this I don't know, she's 24. She lives with her parents or whatever, and she's talking about all the things that she eats, right? Wendy comes to me and says, "Have you seen this video?" And I was like, "No, let me watch it." I'm watching it. And so she's literally like putting her hands like this. And she's like, "I don't get it. You're telling me that the CrossFit methodology is nutrition first, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this." And she's like, "This contradicts everything that this athlete is saying about nutrition." And she was like, "Do the games athletes follow the CrossFit methodology or the CrossFit nutrition?" She's like, "I'm finding this whole thing really confusing." And initially, right, like right when she first said it, I didn't have a good response. Now I did say like, "Hey, look, games athletes need a lot more carbs. Okay, I will tell you that much. You can't train like that and not eat more." And she's like, "That's not my issue." She's like, "Well, do we eat sugar or do we not eat sugar? These guys can, but we can't." And I'm like, "Oh, what a tough conversation." But that comes up. You'd be surprised at how often that comes up in my affiliate. "Hey, Athena, explain this." "Well, you know what? I can't. Good for me, but not for you."
Yep, absolutely. So where is it? I'm trying to find my bit. So it's really official. I've prepared this. This thing.
Nice.
I don't know if it's backwards or not. So I've got these little notes that I keep for reminding. Sickness, wellness, fitness continuum.
Right.
So if you're down this end of it, down the sickness, until you get to wellness, your priority is life and health and living. That's what your priority is. And having low sugar diet, coming off the carbs and moving well is your priority. You want to get back to wellness. when you're moving towards the fitness end of the scale, which is why we have the games, it's the answer to that riddle. It's how do we prove this end?
Yeah.
We have sport at the end of that, to prove that we can be the fittest. Now, my thing here is carbohydrates are fuel. That's all they are. They're
Sure.
fuel. You know, they're an easy way to get glycogen into the muscles and the liver to help recover and to be able to move, you know, and move, you know, excel in fitness. However, what I probably would say is, and I've got a degree of experience here, is I would probably caveat the thing with this is really close to this. They're closer than the other ends of a spectrum. If you go too far in down the fitness route, you are not fucking healthy. You are on the edge of fucking sickness every day of being that fit.
Agreed.
The whole purpose of sport is to push the human body to the extremes that other people can't do.
Yeah, but is it sustainable?
Yeah. Well, no. And that's why they're burning out at a young age. That's why they don't last past 35. That's why we have a master's at 35. It's why there's exception to the rule. They get to 33, 32, 33, and then they're done. That's why there's labral tears operations all the time.
That's
It's why
right.
it happened, detached biceps. It happens all the time. Any sport. My wife was a professional athlete in fucking synchronized swimming, right? She's got her lower back is utterly fucked for the rest of her life because of doing egg beater in the pool when you do this. If you are in any sport, physical sport, you risk injury every day of your training. If you're a professional cyclist, there's a chance you're going to come off your bike. You're pushing your body. If you're a boxer, how fit have boxers got to be? Insanely fit. But they could quite easily have their last punch to the head and be done. We've seen it. UFC fighters. The fitter you get and the more fitness you get towards a sport, the more you're going to get to the point where it's so close to sickness because you are ready to snap at any time. Now, those athletes at the top end of our sport now, not originally, now, because of the threshold of fitness has been pushed way further by loads, distance, and speed. That's been pushed way further than it was 10 years ago, right? Because of that, they're going through stresses that the Reichs of Froning didn't do 10 years ago. And they have to deal with that differently, like things like nutrition, things like eating a hell of a lot of carbohydrates. So their nutrition looks very different because of that. And also, we have to acknowledge that they're not doing what we do anymore. They're not doing the methodology, and they don't claim to. They don't claim to do the method.
And again, I think that's why I'm more or less backing you up. It's not the CrossFit methodology. They are different.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying they were always like that. I'm saying it's evolved into that where I do have to have,
Yeah.
And
at either ends of that fucking spectrum, like whether you're this end or this end, they aren't healthy. Those two extremes aren't healthy. So I would probably argue that no one's at fault here. People are looking for someone to blame. People are looking at why CrossFit's so bad now. Why the professional athletes are all like this or like that. People are just fucking bored, probably. They want someone to blame. They want something to be angry at because life's shit. And the thing is, there's no one at fault. There is no fault. There is nothing to worry about. There's nothing to want to change. All we need to do is accept the fact that the sport that we used to have as linear progression from we do to them isn't the same thing anymore. It's not CrossFit.
I would agree.
And this year, when some, I'll give a criteria here. When a European-based fitness company want to buy out CrossFit, whoever that might be, it will make it will distinct. It will pull apart
What did you
those.
just say? A northern European.
So there's strong rumors that a European-based company are buying out CrossFit.
Who are we talking about? Northern Spirit?
No, I wouldn't think they'd have enough money. So I'm putting two and two together and getting 5 here. But is there a big company with a vested interest in the fitness industry that have made a lot of money over the last 5
European?
years and are European based and run
I don't know.
events every other weekend around the world and are based in Germany? High Rocks.
Oh, High Rocks.
That would be where my
Oh.
money would be. That would be where my money would be.
My brain went Northern Spirit.
Yeah. But that's just me thinking out loud over the last few days. However, if whoever it is, if it's a Dubai company, if it's High Rocks, if it's
Yeah.
bloody Coca-Cola, whoever it is, whoever takes on CrossFit, are they going to take on the sport of it? And if they do that, how will they break down the distinction between the sport? Is it going to be something? I think we're in a really exciting time for CrossFit. I think we're
Are
at a
you
point
Nick,
where
are you
we're
thinking
going to
there's
claim. Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
that's right.
Do you think that there's any possibility where that company could buy the game side and just separate that from the affiliates?
Potentially. But I don't know how they do that. It would be quite a tall order. It might be something like the Open feeds through to an event each. It could. I got no idea. I got no idea that the affiliates don't make money. It's not. You know as well as I do. It's not a cash making machine like people believe it is. It's all the extra bits that make the money. And we've learned that the hard way quite a lot over the last few years, and why gyms are having to diversify, having different classes, taking on High Rocks affiliation, doing all sorts of other stuff, selling their gear to try and make ends meet. And when people come in and they, affiliate members now come in compared to $60 a month at Planet Fitness or whatever it is, and then they're paying $200 a month and they can only come 4 times a week. They moan that it's too expensive and they imagine a world where the affiliate owners are rolling around in money like in Breaking Bad. Unfortunately, it's just not the case. Anyway, hello, Jon.
None of our members
Hello,
pay.
how are you?
So, are you going to talk us through how it went?
Yeah, what do you want to know? Is my signal good enough?
No,
it's
you're
all right.
here.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can talk.
Cool.
Cool. So, first of all, my first question is, how was the gym? How was the environment?
Environment was great. So they do a Friday Night Lights and they do like a head-to-head. So I was there for that, which was cool to see. It was 2 guys that I've kind of known for a while. One guy's actually local to me. He's a coach. He's one of the coaches at the gym. And the other boy, Scotty, he is, do you know Ross Houston, the MMA fighter? It's his brother. Both very fit and they smashed it. I was in heat. I was originally put down in heat 6. That's why obviously I was late. I was trying to get there to get as early as possible, but when I rocked up, everyone was already kind of booked in their heat. So I managed to actually swap to get on a little bit earlier.
Cool.
Yeah, but it shows that I haven't done any hand cleans in a long time.
Yeah.
As a high roxer.
Yeah. No, that's it. So.
Okay, Jake. So to take you back to the point that you started, because you lost me. So you're saying whoever they're going to sell it to, in terms of like, okay, so where you were going with that is you were talking about at one point it used to be like this linear trajectory, right? Like you start off at the bottom and eventually you could fine tune it and maybe work your way to the games.
Yeah.
And now you're saying like there's a reason that you brought up some potential purchase, and what was the point that you were trying to make with the potential purchase? What they're going to do with it, or how they decide to talk about, CrossFit, or where were you going with that?
So now that if we assume that everyone's on board now with the fact that the CrossFit, the sport, isn't the same as what we do at the affiliates, the methodology. I mean, between the three of us, I think we all agree on that.
I think we all agree. Sure.
Yeah.
It's likely that people purchasing CrossFit LLC would also understand that distinction, potentially.
Oh, who knows?
So where are they going? So someone coming in to have a look at the model that they're purchasing, where are they going to draw the line? Because they have to realize that the sport and the affiliates aren't the same thing anymore. Do they break it up? Do they simply purchase the sport of CrossFit? Do they change the affiliations method?
That's a good question.
Do they completely shift it from where it has been? Because clearly, since Glassman sold it, they didn't change the affiliation system. They just put the price up with this year, but it
Right.
didn't change, and it didn't work. Something didn't click.
Wait, what are you saying? What are you saying didn't work?
I would hazard a guess and say they haven't made any money. So they're an investment group. They're looking to make profit. It hasn't worked for them. I would hazard a guess and say they haven't made much money. From a markup perspective, just from a business perspective. So any business coming in to purchase CrossFit would want to see potential for return. Now, the last 5 or 6 years, you've seen this breakup of the sport and the affiliates methodology.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm buying something, I want to know how I can make money. Can I make money at the affiliate level? Not really. You're not going to make too much money there. How do I make money from the sport if I'm purchasing that? Is which one of those two elements, now that we've distinguished that they're two different things, if I have to buy one or the other for a business perspective to make money, which one of those am I going to choose to buy? I think
I was going to say, is that a rhetorical question? You'd think they'd want to buy the sport, but it's how they're going to get a return on that, because $20 to sign up to the Open once a year isn't like that's. I think that's why like someone like High Rocks, people go and do multiple races a year, and they're paying like £120 a time, which is like $150 a race, and you'll get people that maybe do like 6-7 races a year.
Mm-hmm. So, what event organizers already know how to put on an event every other weekend across the globe with kit, roll it out, get everything done, make profit, and run smoothly, and are European based and have a vested interest in the fitness space, and currently don't have a very good affiliation model. They just get people to pay like CrossFit, but there's no methodology. There's nothing there. They're not interested in methodology, High Rocks. They're not interested in all that. They know they're an event and they've done that. If I'm there,
they have an educational course now. I'm not paying to do it, but it's like £600 to do it. And it's like their level 1, you know.
Yeah. So I'm curious, because there's been a lot of speculation about people buying CrossFit. My first question would be, why would someone buy CrossFit? The only answer there is for profit. You're never going to buy a business that size if you don't want to make profit. How do you make profit from an entity like CrossFit? We've established that the affiliates, the methodology, and the sport aren't the same thing. Or do they buy the whole thing and make the CrossFit affiliates dual High Rocks and CrossFit affiliates by distinction. You automatically become both. And here's one big methodology for the whole gym. Here's an affiliate pack. Here's where we tell you how to run it as both of them. You pay us $3,000 a year rather than 4.5. How many of the current High Rocks affiliates then jump on board, embrace CrossFit on top of it, and then have access to all of it? And then the Open grows. High Rocks promote the Open as part of their group of events. And they also run events throughout the calendar year, one a month, a bit like the WFPR, but amateur and open. I don't know. It was just put to me the other day about a European-based company, and I had some thoughts on it. And I just think it makes the most amount of sense, but I could be completely off the mark. But it was just something I was thinking about the other day with this methodology and sport division. That's all.
Interesting.
Are High Rocks definitely based out of Germany? I thought they were. I thought their main offices were in New York.
Their offices might be there. I think the owners are
Yeah.
German, though, aren't they?
Oh, he might be actually. Aye.
Yeah, because he was a German. He was an Olympic athlete, wasn't he? Main dude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why he wants it at the Olympics. But yeah, that's enough about the sport, though.
I think no matter what happens, I don't see it changing here at all. Not what we're doing. It's not going to change Scale Nation at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
You've got all the tools. You've got all the tools from not only this as your
Okay.
basis,
Yeah.
but you've got all the tools that you've built up, your experiences. And again, that's the other thing. You've got the affiliates that have now been open between 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
They've got it all by themselves. They don't need an HQ anymore. But what
No.
they do need,
They don't.
what they kind of do need is the Open. And there is no Open if there is no HQ. The Open is the only tether now to the affiliates need an HQ. From my opinion, anyway. But all wells and ends well, isn't it? And again, if like I've said this again, and this is the other thing that me, Jon, and PK have been saying for a long time now, is if CrossFit HQ just went shut down, done, gone, we're never going to see the name CrossFit ever again. The gyms don't. Nothing happens at the gym level.
No, the gym wouldn't
No.
care.
They carry on operating. All the staff members carry on. The coaches still get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like they have been. The shut goes up at the same time. The programming is all done the same.
Yep.
Nothing changes.
Oh,
anything-
we say that nothing changes. I mean, I hope that it wouldn't. But I also think that there's a lot of how do I hold on, I'm searching for the right words. It's a Friday afternoon. There's that common thread that tied us all together. I think having the
Yeah.
branding really, it wasn't so much about the logo as much as it was we were all part of this big group that had this
Yeah,
thing in common.
Hang on.
And that's what opened relationships and opened friendships with gyms and having these bigger conversations. I think that piece would be different. Right.
Right. That's going on my wall.
It's not, I never cared about the logo. For me, it was about, sharing interests with other people and doing a mission,
Yeah.
not by myself,
Mhm.
having other people to share that mission with,
Do you think you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't have the name CrossFit? Now, so if it went away, do you think you'd lose anything?
It would just be individual communities.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. We would just be marketing and talking to individual communities,
Yeah.
talking to coaches. I don't think my work would change at all. No.
But again, the one thread that we have, and this is coming full circle back to the beginning of this conversation,
Yeah.
it's the Open.
Mhm.
It's the Open. That's the one thread. Without the Open, there is no
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Well, correct. And it's worth preserving. It is for me. Even
Yeah.
if really the athletes at the top of our sport now are definitely different than they used to be, I think.
Yeah.
It's still worth preserving that unit, I think.
Yeah. 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 And
I
we
need to
need.
set an example and register and do it.
Yeah.
There was only 2 years that I haven't, but there was a good reason.
Yeah.
So the first year, I think it's 2020 on my card where it shows that I didn't do the open in 20. The reason why is because it was my first week back to CrossFit after my surgeries. Like I couldn't even walk a straight line.
Yeah.
I couldn't even think about doing the open. Like I was back on my cane, feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And then 21, I want to say it was 21. Um, we are a very tiny affiliate. We have 400 square feet, so we have to use 400 square feet extremely efficiently.
Yeah.
And when the directions for the open came over that year, the setup was so complex and so big that um, we were pushed out into the driveway. And here in Minnesota, when the open comes around in February, we're usually
Yeah.
facing -20 and -30 degree temperatures. And
Yeah.
the setup was just so complex that it just pushed us out of the ability to do the open that year. It sucked,
Yeah.
but that's why we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just couldn't.
Yeah. Physically, yeah, limitations were there.
We
But
couldn't
again,
do
like,
the setup.
yeah, physically couldn't do it, which is fine. No, I
What are you thinking about, Jake? You
oh,
got
loads of
something on
stuff.
your mind.
I just at the gym today, we were setting up for the open, and all the negativity that it reminded me of bloody COVID, right? All the shit online, all the news, all the crap, all the everyone's gonna die. Well, you need this. Let's wear fucking face masks. And then all you needed to do was just go outside, and you could see that it wasn't real. Yeah, well, obviously COVID was real, but it wasn't as everyone's going to die as we were sort of being told. It was, you need to make your own mind up. All the crap online in the last few months,
Mm.
and then I walked into the affiliate this morning. Well, it all happened last night as well. Watching for us, it was 8:30, 8:30 last night. The workout with Fronin.
I don't think I saw as much as you all did.
It so
I was really new to some of this stuff, honestly. I just didn't
yeah,
follow a lot of it. I was so behind
no,
the curve. But why would
but
come on, why
the
would you want
last
to keep
night,
up with all that?
yeah, but again, there's a bit of give and take here. We
Mhm,
can't, as a community, take.
mhm.
We have to give a little bit to the athletes, and we have to admire them and respect them. And watching the launch of the broadcast, and watching thrown in, what's his name, the Russian, um, Adams, and the new guy, watching them go at it, it was so nice. It was a reminder of what the open is, what it
Mm.
does, the community. And then I went to bed, woke up, had my breakfast with my kids, went to the gym, pulled up at the gym. I was getting those butterflies in my tummy again. I walked in the gym, music's going, and then we start warming up, and it's that time.
Okay.
It's that time of the year, and it
Yeah.
felt special. It felt this is the
Because
open
it
again.
is.
It is. And then warming up, I'm thinking about strategy, and I'm thinking about space, and I'm getting annoyed with my mother-in-law in the corner because she's setting up to do snatch work where I'm going to do my burpees. So I told her
Did
to
you
move.
cry? Did you cry?
Did I cry?
Jake?
Do you want to know something? And this isn't me being double hard. Well, it is, because I am double hard, as you can tell. 1996 September was the last time I cried. Just thought I'd let you know. For another show. And then
Johnny
I did the
Concrete.
workout. Johnny Concrete. I did the workout. I was fucked. Katie always judges me, literally, but also during the open, my wife's Katie. She judged me. I got snappy with her halfway through. I did it. I finished. I judged her. And then there's this huge wave of like, done. And it was, it reminded me, and again, I don't want to sound like that 40-year-old old boy that's like harking back to days gone by. It reminded me of like 10 years ago when we had the, Friday night lights going and we were at the gym doing the CrossFit Open because we've been fucking looking forward to it since last year, since the games finished. And it really did remind me of that. And Erin, who's the owner there at the gym, she was doing it as well. She felt the same way. She was like, oh yeah, this is what it's about. And all that crap about I'm out and this, that, and the other, and all this shit, it's nothing to do with us. It's nothing to do with us.
No, it's not.
And the community and doing the fucking opens to do with us, and getting as many people as we can at the affiliate to feel confident in doing it. Walking in and seeing the tape on the floor. Where else would you get excited about seeing tape on the floor? Can you hear this, by the way? Hang on. Can you hear that or not? I pressed the button. No?
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
I can hear that.
You can, what, the gunshots?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been
Play the Arnie one.
The Arnie one. I can't remember which. Hang on. Arnold, hang on.
I'm like getting the feeling of coming in the gym. I'm getting the feeling of coming at home. I'm getting the feeling of coming backstage when I pump up, when I pose out in front of 5,000 people. I get the same feeling. So I'm coming tonight. I mean, it's terrific, right?
Did you hear that?
That Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It is.
Yeah, he's always coming.
I'm glad it worked.
Always coming.
It took me fucking ages to get that set up. I'm glad that worked. Anyway, I'm going to press that a lot. But yeah, it's hard to explain like how one fucking stupid workout, 15-minute workout, elicited so much like not emotion. I don't get emotional. But
That's okay. I get emotional all the time.
Confidence.
Yep.
It was confidence in what we have got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And a reminder about why we need to fucking keep it there.
Yeah.
Because your Wendy. We want her as a community to be able to say she can do the Open in a few years.
Yeah.
We want it to still be here. We don't want it to have gone, because that's what it's there for.
I'm hoping next year she'll be brave enough to join us. There's, lots of other members that I'm just kind of waiting. Like, I think this next year is going to be a big year for Scaled Nation for sure.
And do you think, have you ever tricked a member into like loading a bar up with a new weight they've never done before, and then they lift it?
Oh yeah.
You know what? You just done a PB. Do you think you could do? Yeah. Do you think you could do that with an open workout?
Well, yeah. Even though they're going to be doing the open workouts, whether they're scared to join or not. I mean, they're going to do them.
Right.
So
okay.
This year is the first year that they're actually going to be doing the open workouts. And then when we get done with those 3 weeks, we're going to sit down and be like, you realize that you just did the open workouts along with everybody else. So tell me what your fear was.
Yeah.
And I know what the fear is. They don't want to be on the leaderboard. They don't want their score up there. It's like, sometimes I think, when you come from a place where you always think that people are looking and staring at you, you don't want any more of that. What they perceive to be negative attention. I don't want to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
I can sympathize with that, Athena, because I wasn't going to sign up again this year, but then I thought, me and Jake started this Outside the Box podcast. We're talking about CrossFit. We're doing this, that, and the next thing. I thought like I'd be hypocritical if I wasn't going to do it. So, but I was like very conscious of that, like, oh Christ, my scores are going to be out in the public. So like I get that now after however many years, doing it. So for someone that hasn't ever done it, you can see how that could be amplified like tenfold.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I don't know if that's ever been a fear of mine. I just play with it. In fact, this morning I just had somebody say, "Hey, Athena, what does that number on your scorecard mean?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen that number." Of course, I know what it is, but me is just always looking at it like, "Well, I don't care what it means. A 3 means a 3 means bronze to me. I'm in third place. That's what it means. I don't care what it means."
No,
But there's always ways to look at that. I don't care what the score is. Post the
Yeah.
score. Everybody can come look at Athena's profile pic. Whatever. There's no ego in it for me.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
gonna be whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump off, but I've loved listening to
No
most of this, and apologies for not being on.
That's all right.
Bye,
You're forgiving. You got the workout
Right.
done.
Love you all. I
Bye,
did,
sir.
yeah, and I've secured Donnie for our podcast, and he's going to let me film on week 3, so I'll interview members
Oh,
on week 3, and we will have some content to put out there as well.
amazing. Good work. Good stuff,
Cool.
mate.
Right. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Remove. There we go. Good. I'm glad he did it. And the first time I did the Open, I registered 2013. I was fucking nervous. And do you know why I was nervous?
Tell me.
Because I thought I would go to regionals. I genuinely thought, if I sign up, I'm going to go to regionals, and then everyone's going to be watching me at regionals.
Did you go to regionals?
Absolutely not. I was way off. I was like, I was shit. And I'll tell you
Wow.
why. That was awful. And I'll tell you why. Is because at my gym, and this is absolutely no reflection on the gym owners, they did absolutely the right thing. Here's my other one. We did this first, and we did that. And I was in the midst of sort of developing my gymnastics at the time. I couldn't do kip and pull-ups. I did just strict. So like Fran was strict for me all the time whenever I did it. So then the Open came about, my first Open, and I was fucking shit because I didn't have that racing mentality in me, because I was good at Metcon and I was lean, but I didn't know how to do the sport very well. And I was nervous because of a different reason. I assumed, as a 26 or whatever I was year-old male, that I automatically assumed I'd be really good. No, I'd go to the regionals. I wasn't quite there. But, never mind.
My first, the day I joined a CrossFit gym was 17.5.
Cool.
So that was my first experience with CrossFit, was sitting behind the ropes during 17.5. And then the following year, again, the Open was just never.
Oh, Jesus. I've just
I would've
seen
been
that.
like,
What?
right? That was my
Fuck it, I
first,
remember
like,
that.
and I was amazed watching it, though. I was watching these women fling this barbell around. It was so impressive, though, but I wasn't looking at it like, oh, that scares me. I was more like, wow, look at them go. I was so impressed with what they could do. So, yeah, I remember the barbell. And anyway, so the following year, how that happened was I wasn't going to register for the Open. And I couldn't I thought I couldn't. And somehow the conversation came up, or the workout was posted on that Thursday night. And the scaled version was hanging knee raises or something like that. And I was telling a friend, I was like, I can't even do those. Like, what's the point? Like, I can't do these movements. Oh, she got so mad. And she's like, Athena, you are one of the strongest people here. I bet you can do this shit. And you didn't even know that you could.
Yeah.
So she took me to the back, and he was was like, let's get up on the toast bar. There it is. And I said, I can't even do hanging knee raises. Holy
Yeah.
shit, there it is. And she's like, okay, hang from the bar. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to hang from the bar. I literally hadn't tried it.
Yeah.
And I was buzzing through this workout, no problem. Was doing the hanging knee raises, and I shocked myself how much strength I had accumulated, totally unbeknownst to me.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
No.
I thought I still wasn't ready for a lot of this stuff, but there we were, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I needed somebody to show me what I could do.
Yeah.
And it worked. And that's why I signed up. And then, of course, I never looked back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for every one story of people signing up for the Open and being, I don't know, not embarrassed maybe, or disappointed
Yeah.
maybe in their score. I personally, I mean, I've coached hundreds of people through the Open, hundreds, probably in the thousands over the last 12, 13 years. I can't for the life of me remember one person that was at a foundations or scaled level that felt disappointed. The only
No, neither have
people,
I.
no, the only people that have been disappointed are the people that had the expectation that I did, that I would automatically be fucking amazing at what I was doing. The people that have got the expectation of I should be up here.
Yeah.
The people at the other end of that scale, at the base, they're never disappointed
No, never.
in the effort, because the
We are all,
effort for them is the criteria that they're going for, and we are promoting. And it's the thing that we never see in the media. Every now and again, we'll have a video of some old boy doing his first pull up and this, that, and the other. But if you're talking about representation, about what CrossFit affiliates are, 99% of affiliate media should therefore be representative of people like us. Yeah?
I agree.
But again, and I had this put to me about a year ago, and whoever it was, I can't remember who it was, absolutely fucking bang on. It's on the affiliates to create some of that. CrossFit can't be responsible for all of that. Did I tell you about the video that I did, didn't I, about Liz, the woman at my affiliate?
I want to say you told me about that.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm going to find it if I can, but we had a lady called Liz who had 8 kids. I'm trying to spell diabetes while I talk. Here she is. So I'm gonna. I'll have it on mute. Oh, hello. Hang on a minute. Let's pause that and mute it. So I'm just getting this out. I'm really shit at all this stuff so far.
What's the preface for the video?
So the video is she had diabetes. She had type 2 diabetes.
Oh, yes. You showed me this video.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this one.
Yeah. So, and then hang on. There we go. That handsome man. So I contacted CrossFit and I let them know I wanted to fucking scream from the rooftops about what she'd achieved. And I had contacted them. I let them know her story, and I got a message back from Savon saying, I'm going to pass this on to Greg. I think he needs to see this. I got a fucking email back from Greg directly saying, thanks for bringing this to our attention, Jake. We'll be back shortly with someone who wants to come and make a video about it. But they wouldn't have bloody known, would they? If I wouldn't have emailed. So the onus is on the affiliates to promote this kind of stuff. And the video competition that Savon put out in the last couple of months or so about the Open really did put it on the affiliates. And look at what came of it. fucking thousands of videos of people trying to promote the Open, and there was a buzz about it. But it took Savon to do that. That didn't come from anywhere else, did it? But he's had a big change of heart, I think, the last few months about CrossFit.
Who?
Savon.
How
At
so?
least outwardly. At least outwardly.
What changed?
There was an episode where he said he basically went from games, and then all of a sudden it was fuck the games, we're about affiliates. There is no games without the affiliates. And then we went back to that, and then Kill Taylor came around, and then that was affiliate members calling in. And then the last few months or so, every now and again, the games affiliates will ring in, but it's community driven now, I think. And it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see. It's refreshing, and I think a lot of people's opinions have changed because of what Savon's done the last few months. A lot of people have done the Open and signed up and gone through there, and there's a buzz around the affiliates now because of the work, and they might not know it. People in the affiliates might not know why their mate there's made a video and then been promoted and retweeted by Castro, but all because of Savon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Hey, you know what? I love being an affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
You're proud.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of the work that we do.
Exactly. The work you do, which is good.
I can't think of anything in my world more fulfilling than helping others.
Yeah.
Starting from where I came from and guiding them through the same thing that I went through. There's nothing more fulfilling than that.
No.
So
that's
I watch that. So I stay out of the games conversations. I'm gonna watch, I can be really proud of the work I do and still admire what they do on the game side. But whatever decisions that happens over there, or whatever they decide to do, or who competes or who doesn't, it just doesn't affect the work that I do.
No.
It's not going to affect who's going to sign up for the Open here, who doesn't, or, God forbid, Annie posted a thing that says I'm out. I think that was the first one that I saw. I didn't know about Patrick Keller until later. Funny story there. But I think that was the first one that I saw, and I was like, even if I had seen it come from someone that I knew who it was, I don't. It doesn't change what we do.
No.
He doesn't do what I do, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I ever gave it much thought after that.
Yeah, they're two different things, and that's okay. It's
Both
okay.
can coexist. They always have.
Yeah. In whatever guise, it comes around. We'll see.
Yep.
It's the exciting time for CrossFit. I'm quite excited.
I'm optimistic.
Good. Right, young lady. Thank you for talking to me.
You still seem like you've got something on your brain.
I've got lots on my brain.
One of those days?
Yeah. It's all right though. It's all good. I've started reading a book this week that I read about 10 years ago.
What is it?
It's Albert Camus, and it's The Myth of Sisyphus.
Myth of Sisyphus.
Sisyphus. It's the reason I've got. Where are we? Hang on. You can't really see it. This little buddy. Oh, it's not going to work. Anyway.
Nice.
Sisyphus, Greek mythological man, escaped death twice, conned them out of going to Hades, and then when he did eventually die, he got punished by Zeus, and he had to push a boulder up a hill for eternity. When he gets to the top, it falls back down, and he has to start again. And the whole book is about suicide. Yeah, it's a really interesting book. It's basically a long essay by a French philosopher about the absurdity of life
That's a
and
book I
finding
can
meaning.
relate to.
It's a good book. Tattoos,
Book I can
yeah.
relate to.
Do you know what? Agree. David, I know Savan will never say it, but I absolutely love this.
I don't know what you mean.
I love this Putin and Trump thing going on. It works really well.
All right, Jake, I have to pee.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, I won't hold you back any longer. But thank you very much for talking.
Thanks for
It's been a
having
great
me.
time.
I've
Thank
never
you for-
actually talked. I've never gone on the podcast to talk about the Open before. So thanks for having
Awesome.
me.
Well, hopefully we can do it again sometime.
Always. I'll talk to you soon, friend. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna hang up, but stay on the line.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Right, bye, friends. We'll see you soon. Au revoir. Ciao, ciao,
Au
ciao.
revoir.